Welcome to Financial Ginger. I am Jacob Johnson, your host, the insurance agent known for picking up his phone, which might seem like the bare minimum, but trust me, it's not. There's a lot of insurance agents that don't answer their phone, and a lot of people that call me are like, oh my gosh, it's been 3 weeks of me trying to get my agent on the phone. You get the point. I answer my phone. Even right now, if I don't answer, I've got 8 agents in my office that do answer the phone. 801-216-8444. Quotes are always free. Today, I'm really excited. I've got Austin Adams, the founder and CEO and president and awesome man of Flush Pros.
That's correct.
Yeah, we used to be neighbors in Lehigh.
Yep.
Yeah, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself to the listeners?
Yeah, like you'd mentioned, I founded and the owner of Flush Pros. So we're out of Lehigh, and we're a full-fledged water company at this point. So kind of a fun company that we started from the ground up and continue to grow. Actually, we service from like Davis County all the way to Utah County and everywhere in between. So
awesome. I didn't realize that it was full service because
yeah.
I met you at the really early days when it was just like, hey, we do water heater flushes and reverse osmosis and water softeners.
Yeah,
which I appreciated because I was getting people knocking on my door, like giving me bids for like $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 for a water softener. And I grew up with a water softener because I used to get really bad eczema, like super bad eczema. And all my siblings did when we moved to Utah. So my parents were like, we need a water softener. So I grew up with a water softener. I'm like, there's no way it's that expensive. It's just a plastic bucket that you put salt in and hooks up to your water supply or whatever. Obviously it's more complicated than that. But yeah, I was just like amazed at how pricey it was. And then I think it was John that knocked on my door, and he was like, hey, and he's like, actually, I live here, blah, 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 and the owner lives just down the corner. I'm like, that's Austin. I'm like, oh, I go to church with Austin. I know Austin, blah, blah, you know? And I'm like, well, yeah, give me a number. Like, we're about to move, but do it. And so we moved in, and before we even, when we bought our new place, before we even moved in, we had you guys there.
Took keys and we were there.
I had like 3 things as soon as it got there. I had the electrical people installing the Tesla charger. I had them also putting in a 240 volt for my wife's freeze dryer system. And then I had you guys there doing the water softener and the reverse osmosis. There was a third thing, and I can't remember what it is right now. But just like, if I'm buying a new house, might as well get all that done before I move in.
Get what you want.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was great. So I didn't know you do everything now. So plumbing and stuff too?
Yeah. So what's kind of cool, what we've transformed into, we have several plumbing partners that we work with. So I'm not the one actually, turning wrenches out there. But, funny enough, yesterday I took a call from one of my clients. We did a softener and an RO system for her. This has been about a year ago now. She called me and she said, my garbage disposal just went out. Do you know anybody that can help me with that? I need to get it replaced. And again, I'm not the one out there, but I'm fielding the phone calls, and we sent her 2 of our plumbing partners.
Oh, nice.
And one of them got back to me and said, hey, thanks for that referral. And we're taking care of her. And so it's fun because, our mission, if you will, what we started with, as you'd mentioned, was the tankless water heater flushes. I moved into a new home in Lehigh, and that home had a tankless. That was my first experience with them. And they require annual flushes. Right. It's not a suggestion. It's a requirement because they all have warranties on these units, but it requires you to do the annual flush to retain your warranty. Well, every house in my neighborhood has the same unit.
Yeah, they're all the same.
And
building.
After 1 year, right, you included, after the first year, we're like, oh, we got to get this done. At the time, we were given a certificate that said, come in and call us and we'll come and do this service, this flush for free. Well, I called that company a couple times, and long story short, they'd gone out of business in the year from when I bought my house to when my service was due.
Warranty's void if the company doesn't exist.
Warranty's void if they don't exist, right? And so the manufacturer warranty was in place up until that 1 year mark, and now we were on the hunt to find someone to do the service. And so we went through a bunch of different plumbing companies getting quotes between $400 and $600 for this one-time flush.
No way.
And it was crazy. Like, I start talking to my dad about it. I'm like, it can't be this hard or expensive. Like, what's going on here? And my dad's a GC. Okay. And long story short, we go and talk to the state of Utah. We talk to DOPL, the Department of Public Licensing. We talk to everybody needed. We get licensed. We start our company. And then the real work kind of started, which was starting to knock on doors, such as yourself, to say, hey, this needs to get done. Have you done it yet? Who are you going to use for it? We priced ourselves very affordable. I think even today we're still the lowest price around, and it's because it's a required service that everybody needs. And one of my big things that I'm just hell-bent on is I absolutely hate the price gouge. I hate that. Like that's not, from condo, townhome, single family, and everything in between, anybody with a tankless water heater needs the service. And so we wanted to make our service available to anybody in that demographic, which is homeowner.
Yeah.
And so we founded Flush Pros that way. And again, like you'd mentioned, we knock on the doors. That's really how we've been. It's really been word of mouth, referrals, and door knocking has been our most effective because everybody needs the service. And so it's been kind of a fun thing. This is our 3rd year.
Wow.
We're going into year 3. And what's really exciting is we're scheduling the week of Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's is when we founded Flush Pros.
Oh.
And so we're at year 3, and we already have done several year 3 services within the week. We've got people 3 times over.
That's so okay. Brief pause just in the middle of this. Just right. People are listening to this and they're like, I haven't flushed my water heater in a long time. I normally do this at the end, but how can people get a hold of you? Yeah.
So the easiest way is a couple different things you can do. I'm going to give you my personal cell number, right? Like I field the phone calls. We have a Google Voice. It goes to myself and my business partner, John, who you'd met. My personal cell number is the easiest. You can call or text me. It's 801-895-5005. So that's the easiest way. You can call or text me, right? Flush Pros UT is our website. You can just go right to that. You can Google us. Fun fact, we were the number 1 if you just looked up water heater flushes, we were on page 1 of Google for a long time, and we still may be that way. So we're proud of that. So flushprosut@gmail.com. You can email us there, and then you can just look up Flush Pros and awesome. You'll find us as well.
Awesome. Or if you're friends with me on Facebook.
Friends with Jacob. Hey.
Well, so that's something as well. I'm hopefully going to have it up by the time this episode goes live, but it hasn't been made yet. I'm going to make a Facebook group for people that listen to Financial Ginger to be able to just connect with the people that they've seen on the show. They're like, hey, I saw that there was a plumber or two, like, who do I, or hey, there were some real estate agents. I have a weird real estate, like just, hey, these are people that I trust. Right? I'm a professional. I trust these people. They're people I refer people to. So, obviously people can email me or message me or whatever, and I'm happy to connect them with people on the show, which has already happened. But yeah, so hopefully that'll be there when that does go live. I'll start putting that in the links of all the episodes. But yeah, so that'll hopefully be helpful too for the people who listen to be able to connect with. Yeah, I thought it was really funny how you ended up starting, right? It was, dude, it's stupid. This thing that the builder promised, which
it's gotta get done.
It's gotta get done. And the company went out of business. So I suppose I'm just gonna figure it out and solve the problem myself. And I really like that. I like the problem solving and like engineering, because I have 2 townhomes or condos with the tankless. And when I was looking at the cost for them, and I don't know, maybe I wasn't looking at the right thing. I was getting estimates anywhere from like $200 to $300. And my dad is a little bit of a handyman. Like he's not licensed anyway. He's kind of a little bit of jack of all trades. So I grew up, caulking toilets and tubs and my dad swears he can do the electrical stuff. So when I finish my basement, he's like, let me come and do the electrical and help you with all of it. Everything except the plumbing. And I'm like, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it myself. Whatever. Maybe I'll just GC it myself and hire people to do bits. But he showed me how to do a tankless water flush by myself, and I just use vinegar, right? And so bought my little 8th horsepower in the poles and then watch videos on how to do it. Which obviously, if you have the skill and the time and the desire, do it. If you don't want to learn the skill, you don't want to take the time, and it's worth it. Find a good deal. I preach, and many people I've had on the show, especially Quick Quality Plumbing, they always say, get 3 estimates. That's good on you to, hey, here's the pricing. I'm going to learn how to do it. Well, I can help other people do it, and I can do it without the price gouging. Like it's a no-brainer.
It's funny. We had a client on Sunday. I get on Facebook. I'm doing my doom scrolling that I do, and I see one of my clients in one of the local Facebook groups, and he says, hey, I need to get my tankless flushed. And it seems like my guy might be steep. I'm like, semi-offended. I'm like, what? So I screenshot that. I sent it to John, my business partner. I said, dude, aren't we the guy? Like, what are we doing here? And the last I checked, there were over 15 messages of people saying, use this company, use that company. And, we're $228 for this and all these different people.
Yeah.
And again, I'm kind of still hurt, but I comment, hey, I own Flush Pros. Here's our scheduling link. We'll take care of you. And long story short, 2 days later, John sends me back after this individual's gone and shopped because his guy was steep. John sends me back a confirmation of appointment.
Yeah.
And we're coming back and we're going to do the service again. And there was a little back and forth. And he's like, yeah, I did shop around and you guys are still the cheapest. And we are insured. We are licensed. We're actually
That's important.
It's very important, right? And for specific manufacturers that have certifications or have, the ability to be a certified vendor for the manufacturer, we've gone through the steps to do that. So one of the biggest services that we offer, I would say 50 to 75% of our business is always done on Norritz tankless units.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
That's what you have, right? That's what most of these builders are either using Rheem, Rinnai, Norritz, and now we even see some Bosch and Navians. Excuse me.
Oh, geez, I didn't know Bosch did.
Yeah, Bosch is crazy. If you have a Bosch out there, get in touch with us. They are not easy to flush, but we can do them.
I feel like they're probably like John Deere tractors. It's let's manufacture these so that you can't work on them
They're so unique,
yourself.
you can't do it on your own. Yeah, it took us almost 3 months to figure out the proper way to do the Bosch systems. Like they're different than everything else.
Yeah, it's like you want to change the air filter, you got to remove the engine.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Norritz, we do most of our work with, and we're a Pro Card service member for Norritz.
Okay.
So we're actually in the top 1% in service in general for Norritz units.
Oh, wow.
And
is
so
that
it's
like
pretty
volume related, or is that quality related? Or
it's a lot of different things.
Okay.
It's volume
Just
related.
How they measure it.
It's so they have an install portion and then they have a service portion. Everybody and their dog is Norritz certified on the install side, right? If you're a plumber, you're more than likely a Norritz certified Pro Card service installer.
Okay.
Not everybody is on the other side.
On the servicing side.
On the service side. And so you can actually look us up on their website and we will show as a top 1%.
Oh, wow.
Because we do volume. We are actually scanning the QR codes that's required per SOP to let them know, hey, we serviced Jacob's unit. And so
there's a problem. You've got proof.
Yep.
We've done this every year,
exactly
so it has to be covered under warranty for
we
whatever
love
failure.
Norritz. They have a 25-year warranty on their EZ systems, which is what they're putting in all the new homes right now. And so, for 25 years, as long as you're doing this annual maintenance, you'll be covered on the
if
Norritz
something goes
side.
wrong, mechanical failure or whatever.
And it's on the heat exchange, to be clear. It's not on the entire unit, but the heat exchange is the engine, if you will, of this thing.
It's the most important part of it.
Yeah. Yep.
That makes sense. Do you guys also do like standard water heaters too, or just the tankless? Okay.
Yeah, we can. Standards are interesting. They should be flushed every 6 months. And if they're not, it gets into a dicey,
Oops.
It's
I haven't flushed
tricky.
Mine in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So we might need to make that happen.
Yep. So we can do it. They are typically a little bit more, not more work. It's an easier flush, honestly. But if you aren't doing it, they tend to have more problems, right? Because they just sit there vacant. They have a little flush valve, if you will, at the bottom. And if that thing sits for years and then all of a sudden you turn it on and try and do stuff with it, we tend to find more issue with those. So those should last you between 10 and 15 years on average. Some people are getting longer out of those, especially the older ones, funny enough. But if you don't flush them at all, you're probably like 10-ish years, and they're just a complete disposable, replace it, get a new one type item.
Okay, good to know. I need to do that.
Yep.
I get action items out of this too. It's great.
There you go.
I always do that. I always make little notes and I need to do this.
Crap, I got to do that.
Yep. And then after the show, after I'm recording, I'm texting my wife. I'm like, okay, here's stuff we need to talk about tonight and get on the schedule or reach out.
So another interesting piece of flushing, as we talk about that a little bit, is water softeners. They're supposed to be done once a year. Not required like an annual maintenance on a tankless, but it is highly recommended. So a water softener, the way that they work is they flush themselves regularly about every 1,500 or so gallons of water usage.
Okay.
And what's recommended is once a year to actually use a product to go and clean that resin panel.
Oh.
And so we actually, during our flushing, whatever, usually on a tankless, if someone opts in to do so, we can add that. It's done in the same time frame, but we'll flush that softener for them as well.
What about the reverse osmosis water filter? Because I know you guys put that in at my place.
Yeah.
And I never reached out to. Is there any maintenance that I need to do?
So there is minimal maintenance on those for the most part.
There's a filter.
Yours is either 2 or 3 different filters stacked. Yours is a 2. Those just twist out. You pull them out. You put the new one in, and then you turn your water on. Mine's a button. I have instant hot and different stuff. So I always say you turn it on. You'll run that for about 5 minutes, and it's ready to go. Those are good for at least a year.
Okay.
On those. So
yeah, so that one we're probably just.
You're probably coming up on.
Well, and
here.
it's funny. My wife really likes the reverse osmosis water.
Yeah,
like, loves it. I don't. I drink tap. Like I drink out of a puddle if I could. Like I just like all that flavor, whatever you call it in water. I don't like bottled water. I don't like that. I grew up on Orem water straight from the hose and all that, and I just like that.
We're the other way in my household. I'm only RO water, and my wife is like, if you could throw that thing away, I wouldn't even matter to me. You know?
My wife a couple months ago was like, the water tastes weird. I'm like, well, you drink the RO, so of course it tastes weird. Yeah. But she was like, no, it tastes weird. I'm like, oh, well, we got it a little over a year ago.
Yep.
And so she got new filters and changed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you look at the face of that unit that's under the sink, it will have colors, white, purple, and red. Purple is like you're coming soon to change these. Red is they're overdue. Gotcha.
And ours is actually in the basement.
It's in the basement for yours, correct?
Yeah, ours is in the basement. So, okay, cool. Well, I need to schedule and get all of that done. That's the nice thing about this too is I get all that stuff. Like I had a lady on recently, Shannon Fowkes from Service Master A3DS, and they're a restoration company.
Yeah.
But they also help with some maintenance stuff. And so we just talked all about maintenance of homes to prevent claims. And so part of it we're talking, and so it was great because I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do those things. Took a bunch of them, put it on my calendar. And this is one of those things where it's like, just put it on your calendar every year to do it. And it's great. Or, sorry, my throat. Right. And it just makes it easy to do. Do you guys do like a follow-up program with people that you've serviced with in a year, or like schedule out a year in advance?
So we've talked a lot about that. And the reason that we're not currently doing it is because we kind of want to give you the flexibility, right? Like I don't want to call and reach out to you to say, hey, it's time to do that. Like, sometimes I know when I've done it, but I also want it to be what you want, right?
Yeah.
And so we're not currently doing that. I think that there's, from the company side, there's extra revenue involved. We've yet to find anyone unhappy with us after their 1 year or whatnot. And so it's not like a fear of what do the clients feel or what do they want. We're doing so many different things, and we're still such a small group that I don't even know how I would schedule it out the right way as of now. I can drop ship the filters, for example, on your RO directly to you. We do actively reach out on our flush, 1 year flushes. Like that's our bread and butter, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if you had yours done a year ago with us where we flushed your tankless, we would text you to say, hey, Jacob, I can't believe it's been a year, man. You're coming due on your flush. And we will ask, hey, while we're in there, do you want us to do your softener? But for example, on the RO, like we'll tell you what you need, or you can reach out to us whenever you want and
just say, hey, what do I need on this? And you'll say, oh, which one do you have?
Your filters are interesting. They're good for X amount of usage in gallons or a time. It's kind of like an oil change, right? They say it's every
5,000 miles,
5,000 or 6 months, right? This is
or 3,000,
1,600 gallons or 1 year, whichever comes first. And that's the other part that makes it tricky. A family like yours,
there's just 2 of us for now.
It's just the 2 consumes far different water than a family of mine, which is 5 of us. Mm-hmm. We use a lot, I would assume probably a lot more water than you use.
Probably.
And so it's tricky to say, hey, here's your 1 year follow up on a filter when you're like, dude, we haven't even hit half of the life of that filter where I've used 2 of them. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
you change yours every 3 months.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's how I'm with like salt. Cause growing up with a water softener and 6 kids in my family, so there was 8 of us. We were adding more salt like every other month.
Yep.
And we had a big salt, like not like a standard. It was a huge one.
Yep.
We go to Costco and buy 20 pallet bags or 25 or whatever, right? Like however many it was. I'm probably exaggerating because I was a little kid. Remember doing this, but now I check it every couple of months and I'm like, oh, it's gone down 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, and it's funny, the technology, the idea behind softeners hasn't changed, but the technology has. And so like the softeners that we produce, and we don't produce them, but we sell, right? And we install in people's homes are high efficiency units that like a family of 4, they'll go 3 or 4 months before they need to maybe put a couple more bags in.
Yeah.
You know, versus probably like what you're saying.
I've refilled mine once since I got it a year and a half ago.
Yep, all the way through. And that's, I think 5 or 6 bags.
Yeah, Yep. I think the first time we put, it probably was like 6.
Yeah.
Question about water, the salt that you put in the water softeners. This is just something that's been on my mind because my wife and I have talked about it a little bit. There's like those little pellets, and I'm told that they're nice because they degrade right from the outside and they take longer to break down.
Right.
But I've also seen like a popularization of like the little crystals rather than being in soft. And I used those once, and I noticed they like use faster.
Yep.
They kind of, but I don't know if it's like if it's better quality or just there's more salt.
So we always recommend the pellets to people for a couple different reasons. One is a convenience factor. You can go to Sam's Club or go to Walmart, Costco, and grab the pellets at a very affordable rate. The yellow bags at Costco are $4.50, right? The blue bag is a completely natural pellet, so I always recommend the blue bag over yellow bags.
Okay.
And they're about the same price. So
Cool. Because the other one, they add like a sodium something.
Yeah, there's I don't remember the additive to it, but it's just not 100% natural.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I usually in a pinch, the yellow bag's no problem. I've used that in my own home. My plumber will kill me if he hears me say that. He's always a blue.
Does it just like cause it to gunk up quicker, or like the cleaning needs to be more done? Or
yeah, it's. I don't even know really the big difference between the two, other than when the plumber tells me do this, that's what we do.
I'll have to call Jared.
Call Jared. He'll tell you all about them. But so no, we recommend, like I said, the yellow bag is fine, but the blue bag is a better version, and the pellets are the best.
Pellets are the best. Okay, cool. Because I've got the bags. Yeah. It's there. I'm like, oh,
and it's funny too. Like shop in bulk is what I always tell people. That same yellow bag, for example, that you can get at Costco for $4.50 is $8 at Home Depot, and almost $9 to $10 at like Ace Hardware.
Oh, wow.
It's the exact same bag. They're 40-pound bag, diamond crystal yellow bags, right? The blue bag, I think, is 25 to 50 cents more.
Yeah.
I've found Sam's Club has them for about $2 more, but they're $1 more.
Yeah, and they're like
44-pound bags or a little bit. And so
the weight's different.
The weight's different, but at the end of the day, like I would get a Costco membership just to buy that stuff because it's going to save you literally 50, half of what you're paying at Ace Hardware or Walmart or Smith's. Or
Costco memberships aren't that expensive.
I think they're $60.
Yeah, the cheap one and the expensive one's like 120 or whatever.
And then what I like to do is I'll buy 10 bags at once.
Yeah.
I don't like to go to the store, every 3 months knowing I got to buy 4 bags to fill my tank or whatnot.
You can just stack them right there.
I just stack them up right next to my softener.
Yeah, and it's not a problem at all.
Yep.
Okay. That's cool. What do you wish people understood more about what you guys do?
So I think a lot of people think water in general is important, right? That's like water is one of the most important things we put in, if not the most important item that we consume. Our bodies are made of what do they say, 70% water or something like that, except for Coke.
Coke's a little bit better than water.
Coke is very much better than water, right? But there's this almost a new idea where people are starting to realize what's in the water, right? There's been new reports out. The government's put stuff out saying, hey, we kind of messed up. There's some stuff in the water.
May or may not be actually good.
We shouldn't have done this, but it's there, right?
Yeah.
And so what our mission is, our goal is to provide people with good, clean, soft, sanitized water at an affordable rate. What I wish people knew is that water should not be a luxury in your house. It already is fed in through the water main from the city to your home. And if it's the single most important thing to put in your body, why wouldn't you get it softened and cleaned and, a better state of that water? You think about water touches so many different things. It's in the showers, it's in the toilets, it's in the sinks. That's the first step. That goes in your hair and your body and, but you think the water is running through those lines, right? And then you get into drinking water. And you get into, and so it's like for example, with you guys, you said you have eczema.
Yeah.
I've always suffered from that. Like water softeners help that a lot.
It helps so much.
It was interesting. Before I'd started Flush Pros, I've had water softeners in my couple homes that I own. And Once I added the whole home filtration, it was like, it like 10x'd my system.
Really?
You know, it made it that much better. Yeah.
What's the whole home filtration system?
So whole home filtration actually filters out all the stuff that shouldn't be in your water. So I always liken a whole home system and a water softener and RO. It's a 3-stage system. I always tell people whole home filtration, when you jump in the shower, that's your shampoo, right? When you jump in to the shower, you shampoo your hair first. Why? Because we want to clean our hair, right? That's the soap, if you will. It's scrubbing and removing through filter all of the things that should not be in our water. There's limits that our local city governments have allowed. They say, hey, X amount of this product is allowed to flow through into your house.
Chlorine, fluoride, whatever.
Pesticides, arsenics, leads, you name it, there's stuff in there, right? So the home filtration removes those items before going to stage 2, which is your water softener. In the shower, we clean our hair, we rinse it out. We then put conditioner, right? That same soft feeling or idea behind it, that's what your water softener does. But it is done on a much larger level.
Yeah.
You think about anywhere that water touches, right? If there's buildup, it's calcium, magnesium that builds up, that's hard water. It actually is a corrosive water, if you will.
So I noticed this immediately when we were in Saratoga. We didn't have a water system there.
Yep.
Right. And the Lehigh one, when you guys come, it's like, I'm moving in like 4 months.
Yep.
I mean, I don't care to have it. I probably should have for my tenants, but whatever. More maintenance and stuff. But maybe I shouldn't on rental properties. It's probably a good idea to do.
We can talk about that. There's some interesting.
But you get that buildup. In Saratoga, it was worse than Lehigh because, different municipalities, different ways that they put stuff in their water. I'd have to do the vinegar bags. You ever do that? Like you put those over your sink, rubber band it, and it gets that scum off. And it builds up in the shower. Dude, I clean that off. And like a week later, there's like the white stuff again all over because Saratoga is just different than Lehigh. I'm not saying it's worse or anything like that. It's just, it was annoying because it was always a problem in the buildup. And when I do my own flush, which I probably shouldn't because I'm just using vinegar, and I know that's probably not adequate to properly clean the system. But I also use it as a way to check up on my tenants.
Sure.
So it's kind of like I'm doing something useful at the place, and let's talk about things. But there's more scale in that when I'm flushing out the tankless water heater. There's more scale in the Saratoga than the Lehigh property by far, right? It's totally different. But in our current place, I think I have vinegared one sink once in the year and a half, closing out 2 years that we've lived there, but it's because we put a tankless water system. The other thing that I noticed, Kimberly was using like bottled water and stuff for like watering her plants because some of them were struggling. After we moved water, she uses the reverse osmosis for like watering our plants. It's just totally different. Like she has a spider plant that I don't know, like, and the leaves get all floppy and apparently not supposed to do that. I just assumed because her plant's like always like that. It's a lot happier. I mean, she's repotted it a couple of times and that's always helped it, but using reverse osmosis water has been way better for that plant. So it helps with my eczema. It helps with the plants feeling better. She only uses the reverse osmosis for our cat, 19-year-old cat named Mischief. And she's a lovely cat, and reverse osmosis, she drinks more water. The vet kept on telling us she was having kidney problems, and she's like, you need to get her to drink water. How do you force a cat to drink water? You can't. You can't get those little Mio bottles and squirt some flavoring in the
shots,
water. Like cats don't. That doesn't help them. They don't care for that. But I've noticed that the vet said that she's had an improvement in her kidneys.
Interesting.
And I don't know if that's directly tied to it, but it can't have been a problem that made it worse. Right? Is using that. So super, super helpful. It saves on time of having to clean off sinks, especially if your water has a lot of buildup.
There's a lot of factors to it, right? There are absolute health factors to it. A lot of people see increase in their skin quality, their hair quality. There's less dandruffs, that's a big thing. Yeah. There's a lot of aesthetic things, but there's also a lot of I'm kind of more budget money, mechanically inclined person. Like I'm not having to replace shower heads. We've had clients that have had to replace shower heads 2 or 3 times in 5 years of living in certain locations. Harriman, Bluffdale, Riverton, worst water in the state.
Harriman has
terrible water. Saratoga's not great. Lehigh also isn't great, but it's far better than these other locations, right? But we've had people replacing dishwashers like every year consistently without systems in place. We've got people that are replacing sinks, the faucets, anywhere that this hard water is touching. They're changing these out. Filters are being changed way faster in the fridge.
And when someone says hard water, you're talking about those things that are in your water,
that's correct.
The metals
that's
right. All that stuff, because that's what that buildup is. That scale, it's the buildup of that.
Yep. And so, that's all why we do what we do at this
Imagine
point.
washer and dryers are going to probably perform better.
Washers and dryers are a big deal. Funny enough, when your water is soft and clean, you actually use less soap. So one of the tactics to close on water softeners that other companies use, I personally don't. I think it's really lame. And the money aspect of this is so minuscule that it's cheesy to me.
You're going to save on soap.
They're going to tell you how much you're going to save on soap. If you're using 1 bar of soap a month and now you're using a quarter, you're going to have 3 times the money from the soap that you...
Soap's
whatever,
cheap.
man. Soap's like,
but it's if you're not having to replace your dishwasher, if you're not having to replace your washing machine, if you're not replacing a toilet pipe that breaks because of buildup over time, if you're not going to have a home insurance claim from the broken toilet that causes flooding in your basement,
right?
There's a lot of other things.
On average, people can expect right around 50% more life on the water appliances. Anywhere that water is running, whether it's a faucet, a dishwasher, a washing machine. Yep. If you have the proper systems in place, you should see about 50% longer life on those appliances.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that significant.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Noticeable.
So, yep.
Wow. That's cool. If you have questions about water stuff, water softeners, leave us a comment below. Say, hey, Austin, what about this? And I'll make sure Austin sees them.
Yep.
I always read my comments and I find really interesting.
And I don't know if I mentioned, but like we'll come and test your water for free. We'll always come out and give you a quote. We're happy to meet with you in person. I am very transparent and no nonsense, right? I can usually send a quote over a phone call. Most companies want to be in your door to do that. And again, that's kind of the new way that we think. It's like, gosh, everybody needs this. Let's just, we'll give the basic info, give you the number. I have a pricing book that I'll send to anybody that wants to know. I have a 3-bed, 2-bath condo in Taylorsville. How much would a system be?
Yeah.
I'll send you a book that has, pricing right away. And then we'll jump on a call. I'll come out and look at it. And then we can look at if there's any reason any numbers would change. Here's why. But, it's not, I hate to put it this way. It's not to downplay the importance of it, but it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
And a lot of, the old age thinking, going back to your initial question, what do I wish people kind of knew or what would I wish for, is that everybody should know that they need these products. It's not just a want. And so we do it at a far more affordable rate. You'd mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I was getting quotes for like
6,
4,
7,
5,
8
6,
grand
7 grand.
even,
And it was just like arbitrary. It was just like whatever. And not to throw too much numbers out there, because obviously pricings have changed in the last 5 years.
Right.
But I think, and I actually don't remember the exact number, but I think my reverse osmosis system and the water softener installed was just over $2,100.
Yeah,
I think
probably
it may have been just
right in
less
that
than
range.
that. But obviously it depends on the system, right? Like the 1,300 square foot condo is different than a 2,300 square foot townhome, is different than your 4,500 square foot home with 6 bathrooms. And
it is, but what's crazy is not by that much.
Yeah.
Right? So when someone calls out of a zip code number, right? If you look up the zip code and you know that that's $1 million home, right? This is what a lot of companies do with all services, by the way, not water alone, pest controls and these different. When a homeowner calls and they know, well, that's $1 million house versus a $500,000 house, there's usually going to be a price discrepancy because they can.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is, and again, not to get too deep into the numbers, right? But
of course,
tank by tank on a water softener is a couple $100 different to go from one size to the next. A $1,300, 32,000 grain unit, for example, for 2 people, maybe 3 people in a 3-bed, 2-bath in Lehigh, might be right around $2,200. To go to the next size up and get a single family unit, good for 5, 6, 7 people, is maybe $200 to $300 more from my company, right? From Flush Pros, where a lot of these other companies will go, oh, that's $1,000 difference. It's the same install, same time frames. It's the same unit, just bigger resin panel. and they're like, so I it's not a knock on the competitors. Charge what you need to charge. The big difference between myself and other competitors is that it's my business partner and I, right? And I don't have all the overhead and all the staff and all the people that I have to charge more to be able to cover X amount of expense and cost to keep all these people employed.
Yeah.
I'm the first to tell everybody at the home shows, when I knock your door, like, I'm a business, I make money. Right? We're here to make money. I have 3 kids, 6-year-old, 3-year-old, 3-month-old. My 6-year-old's eating like a 12-year-old now, right? Like, it's crazy. But like, so we make money. There's no question.
There's nothing wrong with making money.
Right. But
you provide a service,
it's
you do good.
very, very intentional that we make enough for ourselves, but more importantly, we pass on the savings of what the difference would be on quotes to the homeowner.
Yep.
You know,
that's what people ask. Because sometimes people will look at it and it's like, that price, and I've had this happen with home insurance and auto insurance. I give someone a quote. Like, I had one just a couple weeks ago, brand new build, like $1.3 million home. The insurance quote was $600.
Wow.
Which is unheard of. It was like $650. Yeah. Right? Most people that are listening, it's like, dude, your home insurance is somewhere between $1,600 and $2,500, right? It was a weird situation where the pricing was based on being so new. There was a huge discount associated with the age of homes. So new build homes, I'm always able to get excellent pricing on, especially with Bear River. Safeco and Liberty Mutual usually do pretty good too. But anyways, the situation, and the person was like, the coverage has to be crap. Like, what's wrong with this? Because it was a third the price. Everyone else was giving me quotes around $1,800. And I'm like, I have quotes at $1,800. Here's the other quotes I did because I'm a broker, but this one's $600. Here's why. Here's the discounts. Here's that. And then I'm like, let's look at the coverages. Send me the best quote you got somewhere else, and I'll show you. It's like, oh, my coverage is actually better. It's higher coverage, higher this, right? And obviously that rate's going to go up over years because over the next 10 to 15 years, that company is going to remove that age discount. So it will get up to $1,200 over the next 15 years. That's still cheaper than So sometimes people think, oh, it's cheaper, it must suck. And I'm like, there's 2 reasons something can be cheaper. It can be cheaper because it's lower quality, or it can be cheaper because it's a smaller company without as much overhead.
Correct.
Right? If you've got 35 employees and you're paying for, trucks for each of them to drive and all their plumbing equipment and all that, you have more overhead. You have to charge more. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not that they're absolutely. Sometimes they're gouging you, like you said. There are people that are charging 300% rather than something more reasonable for profit, which you see when you get a quote from one guy for $3,000, another guy for $8,000, and you're like, that's the exact same water softener. They can't be that much of a difference.
We lose deals constantly to people thinking it's too cheap. And I'm like, look, I'm happy to charge you $5,000. You want to pay $5,000? We can do it for $5,000. The very interesting thing, and why we got into all the water services, the softeners, the different products, is the tanks that we utilize are the same tanks that all of the big box brands use as well.
Really?
They come out of South Salt Lake. They're made here in the USA.
Really?
They are, totally a local product. Everybody uses them because they're a great product. They're affordable. They don't go direct to consumer. So you have to go through someone like myself who's a dealer for them. The only difference is the sticker that gets put on the front of that tank.
Really?
So XYZ brand sticker, ABC brand sticker, Flush Pros sticker.
Oh my gosh.
My sticker, because my pricing is right. Like, we might even pay very similar as dealers.
Yeah.
But overhead, no overhead.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Or low overhead, I should say.
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, obviously you're charging to make money to provide yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I talk about constantly in episodes. I'm like, I'm striving to be more, and this is getting religious, like Jesus Christ and do good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with making money along the way, right? Because when I make money, I'm going to be able to pay employees, and I'm going to be able to feed my family, and I'm going to be able to donate to charities that I like, and blah, 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 and all that stuff, which I do. And there's nothing wrong with being a good businessman and making good money.
Right.
And it's also good to charge people a fair price. Right. Yeah. Because I want to be able to go to sleep at night being like, I did that person good. They trusted me with their insurance. They trusted me with their water softener. They trusted me with all this stuff. I did good.
Yep.
I got good for me. I did good for them. Give good, get good, beget good.
Yep.
Good begets good.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yeah. What we found in the last year and a half, we've been doing home shows, and we'll run into people all the time who are like, oh, we need this. We can't afford it. I said, well, come into my booth. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Define we can't afford it. Well, $3,000 for a water softener is just out of the budget. And I'm like, what if it's $2,000? Well, yeah, we could do that, but no one can price it that way. There's just no way. And it's like, guys, Go and look at that booth and that one and that one. Get all their numbers and then come back and I'll show you the exact same unit for $1,000 less. And we explain why, right? Like, again, it goes back to our mission, which is to bring good, clean, soft water to everybody at an affordable rate, right? Like it's an essential item.
It's part of my home buying process now.
Right.
It's like whenever I buy property.
It needs to be, right? And so it's an essential item. And so if anybody's out there feeling like we need it, can't afford it, let me give you a free quote. Let's talk about it. I have finance options. You know, we have payment plans. We have all kinds of ways to help people, you know, with the water products.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Especially because people need it, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, if you eczema problems, one of the things that I noticed as well, especially moving from Saratoga to Lehigh, was like my hair gets more like you shower almost. And it feels weird. And you're like using shampoo and conditioner 3 times to get your hair feeling. And a lot of that's probably the water. Yeah, we beating that one. So that's cool. That's cool. I like it. It's just, I'm excited that you've been able to come on just because it's been so good for me, and it was so great and refreshing to just talk to you, you know, and I message you every once in a while, or I sent my friends your way, right? Like one of my coworkers to send and say, hey, they're looking at stuff and they were literally complaining. It's like, oh my gosh, we wanted to get a reverse osmosis system or whatever. And it's like, we got quotes for $3,000. I'm like, hey, I know a guy.
Call my guy.
I tag Austin and Flush Pros all the time on Facebook. They're a company I'm always raving about and saying, oh my gosh, these guys are great. They've done great for me. They're so transparent. They're on time. That was really helpful too. Cause like, hey, I'm moving in, I'm closing on this day. I'm moving in on Saturday. There's a 36-hour window. Can you guys make it work? And
we can make it work.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. You guys showed up, Flush Pro showed up, and I also had Any Hour doing the electrical install. Literally at the same time, you know, passing each other, going up and down the stairs. It was great. It was fun. Love it. So it made it easy. So not only was it a good service, but that's something that drives me nuts too, when you need a service and you're willing to pay for it. And it's, my nearest availability is in 3 months. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't want to wait 3 months for this. It's no, let us know when. Oh, cool. I'm closing on this day. Can I come after?
Typically right around a 2-day window. I just need 2 days notice.
Yeah. And you have to get the pieces and you have to order
we got to go grab the items. Right.
Yeah.
But it's been very convenient. You know, we've won deals that way where people are like, oh, you can get done this week. Yeah, we want it done, you know? And so we're about a 2-day lead time, and that's for anything. I can get your softeners, your home filtration, you know, filters are interesting, whole home filtration. They have to soak for 24 hours. So if you ordered one today with me, I can't install it. What's today?
Tuesday
the 30th. I physically could not install that for at least, I'd say 48 hours. So
you have to get the piece and then you have to soak it.
Oh, it's gotta soak before we can actually install that. So
interesting.
Softeners are not that way. Those can be done right away, you know. But so we're about a 2-day lead time. If you were to do a 1, 2, or 3 stage system, which is softeners, RO, and whole home filtration, those can all be done at the same time. And it's interesting. The softeners, there's different sizing, same with whole home filtration, but for the most part, there is different media that can go in filters. Here in Utah, there's one media that works for pretty much the entire state, which is very convenient.
Yeah.
RO systems, there is tons of different stuff. Like I said, mine is a really high-end unit with a digital face, and it has an instant hot up to 200 degrees, really cool unit. And then there's very basic, just turn the water, you got RO, turn it off, it's off, right? And so everything in between we can source, we can do all of that. It's but about 2 days on average is what we need to source everything out. So
well, cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. This has been great. I think it's been awesome to talk about this. Just to remind everyone again who's listening, if they're like, hey, I need to get a water flush, or I need to get filters for my RO system, or whatever's going on, how can they get a hold of Flush Pros?
Yeah, so again, my personal cell number that I'll give anybody, any of my clients, is 801-895-5005. They can go to our website. You can just Google us at Flush Pros. We'll pop right up. flushprosut@gmail.com is a good email as well. On our website, we have kind of like a find your fit type thing that'll kind of walk you through different services that might be, attractive to you.
Yeah.
We have form submissions where you can say, hey, I just want to get in touch and learn more about X, Y, or Z. And then I have, like I said, I have a Blink card, if you're familiar with those. It's a virtual business card, but I have a book that I'll send to anybody that's interested.
Oh, cool. Cool. Is that kind of like dot card?
Similar to that, yeah.
I set up a dot card account forever ago. I don't think I've used it once, but you said.
So maybe what I'll do for the listeners is I'll send you my
I'll put it all in the...
And then you can put it all in for everybody.
I'll put it all in like links in the description. So
we can do
check out the podcast description. It'll have the phone numbers and all your contact information and all that. It'll be great. This is great. This is awesome. I'm excited. Thank you so much for being on. Anything else you wanted to share? I sometimes cut things off.
I appreciate it. This has been fun. I appreciate it. I think that's a pretty good recap. You know, if anybody needs help with really anything water, right? even if we don't do it,
we'll talk afterwards.
We have plumbers that we can source out for you. We've vetted them. We've used them for a long time. They're more than fair in what they charge, and so. You know, I'm very excited to always refer my plumbers out. I don't actually, funny enough, I don't even get a kickback from my plumbers. It's just kind of like we talked about before. I know they're good people. I know they do good work at a good price. And so when someone has something like a garbage disposal that's out of my realm, I'm more than happy to send it off to my plumbers because I know they can help out. Yes.
Oh, and that's a reminder too. I'll put my link to that Financial Ginger community group where it's like, hey, if you listen to the show and want to connect with someone that was on the show, join the Facebook group and ask, and we'll make sure we get you in touch with them because that's.
And then I guess my plea to people would be, if you have a tankless water heater, it needs to be flushed once a year.
Every year.
Yep.
And if you don't, you can try to figure out how to do it yourself or make it easy on yourself.
Yep.
Ask Austin.
There's a billion YouTube videos on how to flush them. You can buy tankless water heater flushing kits.
Oh, cool.
Right? When we knock doors, we talk to people and
John even told me that. He's like, oh, hey, if you want, I could just text you a link and there's a little thing you can do it yourself. I'm like,
totally can.
No one's going to tell you that when they're trying to sell you something. And he emphasizes, this is if you don't want to do it yourself, don't have the time to do it, or don't remember. Right? Like we'll come and do it and then you don't have to think about it. But if you want to, if you have the time and skill, right? That's what to do business with someone, you need to like them. You need to feel comfortable and you need their product, right? And if you don't need their product, okay, I do it myself. I don't need it. Cool. Well, maybe I do my tankless myself. I don't want to do the non-tankless, which is why after the show, I'll get your scheduling link and we'll get it on because I need to do all of that stuff. And I haven't done it for a year and a half, but the tankless stuff, super comfortable with. I'm fine doing that myself. Cool. If you're that way, that's great. If you're not, Austin's there.
Little piece of advice on your tankless.
Yeah.
There is a flush mode. It's a cleaning mode.
Yeah, you have to hold the button for a minute and turn off the gas.
On the Norwich, you have to actually connect wiring to do it the right way.
Oh.
And so if you're doing Norwich units but not in flush mode, the computer's not going to recognize that you've been doing your service.
Oh, no.
Which is, again, why we do it per the SOP of Norwich, right? But I always tell people that.
To make sure
I can do it myself. Great. Just make sure you do it right. You have to do it the right way. Otherwise, even if you've done the service, but you did it outside of the scope of what the computer will recognize, if you do have warranty issue down the road, they're not going to recognize it.
They're not going to recognize it because to their system it wasn't done.
Right. And so I always recommend if someone wants to do it themselves, by all means, please do it yourself.
Make sure you do it the
right way. Absolutely.
Cool.
So,
well, awesome. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely fantastic, informative. Thank you guys for listening. If you're on YouTube, there should be a button somewhere above my head, or maybe it's over Austin's
maybe over
head.
here somewhere.
Yeah,
Who
somewhere.
knows? Yeah.
So you can watch more. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been awesome.